everybody. Sometimes when
Yeah,
I
that's
hear
fine.
opinions, it just means like I hear people and they're like so like stuck in one opinion. I feel like I'm very much able to like listen to a lot of opinions and I can see both sides a lot of the time.
Okay.
I did
Yes.
say moderately liberal, but I would say more like moderate. And I only say emotionally inclined because a lot of people put like, I don't know, more tolerant people in a liberal category when I don't think necessarily I'm either one. I'm just more tolerant, I'd say.
Okay. What are the when you say you support individualistic rights, what are you talking about?
Like the trans debate, like LGBTQ, like
Okay.
even if I might not agree with everything personally, I'm still going to respect everybody's decisions and opinions.
Okay. Is there anything specifically that you've heard on the show that maybe I've said that you disagree with?
I guess not that I would say necessarily disagree with. I've heard y'all talk about the trans debate a couple times. Me and my boyfriend were watching a couple clips the other day, and y'all were talking about like how carnal knowledge, if it was like a trans woman or like a trans man, like does that make it like gay or straight? And like I feel like some of them, like I agreed with some of them, but also like I was like debating with him about it, because if you look like a man and you're presenting as a man, and let's say you're a straight man, but you're getting into it with like a trans man, so they were born a woman, but they present as a man.
Okay.
I would think you're a little bit gay if you're like presenting as a man going for another man, even if they like were born a woman. Does that make sense?
Wait, hold on. So you're saying that they were born female.
So if they were born
but they
female,
they're a transgender man.
yes, so they were born female and then they like transition to be a male, even though they have female anatomy. But if you're a man going for someone who presents as a man, that makes you kind of gay, even if they have female
Okay, so
anatomy.
then by extension, a man who, or wait, hold on. A man who goes for a trans man?
Yeah.
That's usually not the framing for the argument. The framing for the argument is a cis, I hate this term, cis man who dates a transgender woman. That's gay.
Well, yeah, because they have male anatomy potentially. But if it's a transgender man, they were born a woman, so they have female anatomy, which a lot of people would argue is like straight relationship because they have
Okay.
female anatomy, but they
Sure.
look like a man. So if you're a man
Sure.
dating someone who looks like a man, I would think you're a little bit gay, even though you're going for someone who has female anatomy, when some
Well,
people
they
would
don't
argue
have-
that's straight.
Oh, okay, I see. So they, okay. Wait, is it post-op? So it's a female who has like a penis added.
Right. That would, I feel like,
Or
would
do
make
they
you
still have a
even more gay.
vagina?
Even if they still have a vagina, if you like are appearing as a man, like let's say you have like facial hair and like you look like you, but you have like a
Sure.
vagina, like I would think they're a little bit gay.
I feel like they are gay. Like, people date those people.
Well, it's only because they argue that they're straight because they still have a vagina. So they're like, I have a penis and they have a vagina, so it's
I mean,
straight.
I see what you're saying.
But-
That's typically not how the argument is framed, but I'm happy to engage with that. So I would say that, so the actual act of having sex with that person,
Yeah.
I don't think that'd be categorized strictly as a homosexual act. You're saying the woman still has an intact, or the trans man has an intact vagina.
Okay, yeah, in this scenario, sure.
Right. So there would be some questions as to his sexuality, because he finds this masculine appearance
Attractive. yeah.
attractive. The specific act itself, I wouldn't categorize it as a homosexual act.
Right.
Is this person hypothetically also attracted to just straight up men also?
I don't know. Maybe if they're attracted to straight up men, also, then they're just
Well,
gay.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I would say that
Gay is gay.
I would say that this it wouldn't fall strictly under the definition of homosexuality, because if they're aware that this person has a vagina, then it would be pansexual. I would not call that strictly straight, though.
Right.
But typically my preferred framing for this is a man. So for example, me dating a transgender woman, so somebody who is born male,
Okay.
and well, they remain male, and whether they have a penis or a vagina, like the it's not a vagina, but would you think that that's straight, or would you think that that's gay?
So the other person appears feminine,
Yeah,
but
sure.
they have...
It born male, and I'll even go ahead and grant that has I'm not going to call it vagina because it's not a vagina, but is
like
post-operative.
I would say that's straight then.
Yeah, how would it be straight?
Well, because they appear female and like they don't have any male anatomy at that point anymore. Like I would say it's straight with a few extra steps. I wouldn't say it's like 100% straight.
Yeah, but have they? Well, I guess the easiest way to put this: what is straight short for?
Man and woman. Like straight, like male.
It's straight for. Would you say it's straight for heterosexual?
Straight for heterosexual.
Straight is short form slang for heterosexual.
Yeah, yeah.
So heterosexual refers to the other sex or the opposite sex.
Right.
Right. So a transgender woman is not the opposite sex. A transgender woman is still male.
Biologically, absolutely, yes.
Right. And so when we're talking about sexuality, we're referring to the sex in which you're attracted to, not the gender identity in which you're attracted to.
Okay.
So if a man is engaging, if a male is engaging in a sexual act with a male, definitionally, that would be a homosexual act. That would be gay. It would not be straight.
Right.
Even if their gender identity is that of a female.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Because, yeah, biologically, if they're still a male, then that would be
Yeah, it's
homosexual.
two males having sex.
But if they, like, look female and they have no male parts, you're not doing technically anything homosexual besides just messing with someone who has different chromosomes than you.
It still definitionally would be a homosexual act. Well, okay, how about this? What about...
Why do we care?
Seriously.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of reasons why somebody could care. For example, if there's
There we go.
well, if it becomes this cultural norm where essentially like, oh yeah, that's 100% a woman, then okay, I don't need to disclose to a potential partner that I'm actually male. Or even going further, I actually have a penis, but I fully to my exterior, I look like a woman.
Well,
So
No,
you can bamboozle.
They have to tell them if they.
What do you mean? There's
you mean?
literally a push in this movement.
No,
to
absolutely. So
basically-
that's the thing I'm saying. Like in the last, that's what I also wanted to mention is because in the last episode that I was in, there was the guy, I don't know his name, but the religious, he's homophobic, all the things. And I didn't argue the topic with him because I felt like I didn't want to give it the time of day with him because he was so educated in the topic. But I feel like it's more like a respecting, like these people are humans at the end of the day. Like when it comes to like our kids, leave our kids alone. Like kids should not be transitioning at freaking 5, absolutely not. But if an adult wants to be I don't care. Like let them live. Like that's my thing. I respect people and their opinions and their beliefs. And I feel like if a person wants to live as a woman, and I'm gonna respect them as that, and I'm gonna call them that. If they're trying to take my womanhood, right, because they want to be a woman, that's different. Like when they're trying to change us, what was it, birth people or something? Like no, I'm a woman. You know, like if it's that case, like I understand. It's like people are taking it too far, but also there's a level of just respecting a human as a human. Like that, this is what they want, and it's a real thing. It's a studied thing. Like the they thems, all those things. Yes, different.
Yeah,
but
I acknowledge that this is a phenomenon. Like there are transgender people. Nobody is denying that this is a phenomenon. However, I think we should get back, like you're trying to obfuscate a little bit away from the conversation at hand. So do you think it's because you're referencing, well, we should show these people respect? Okay, has anything I've just said demonstrated a lack of respect for transgender people?
See, the thing, we have different opinions. Like, I think you not calling them a woman is disrespectful in my opinion. But
Why would that be disrespectful?
That's what I'm saying. I think if okay, maybe that's the thing. Like, a woman, like, down to the biology of it, like, obviously inside they're not. Like, and I understand that.
Oh.
But if...
Whoa, that's really transphobic of you.
No, that's not. It's not, because
you just said,
I feel like it's transphobic. Hang on. Let me finish my point.
Wait, your position is the same as mine then.
No, listen. No, because you don't, you like are against them. Like, aren't you against them? Like, you don't
How
like...
am I? What have I said
that's what I'm
against
saying.
them?
Like, well, that's what I'm asking. I'm saying, like, if someone was sitting at the table, would you call them a man instead of, like, would you say sir or call them their other name? Or would you call them
sure, that's a fair
ma'am or her? That's the thing. It's about respect. It's not about, like, at the end of the day,
Sure.
yes.
I would use their name. Honestly, I would just use their name.
Yeah.
I would use their name. But if they were to ask me, hey, Brian, what do you think my pronouns are? What do you think my gender is? What do you think my sex is? I would not lie to them on that if they overtly asked me that question, but to at least the extent to which I'm prepared to extend politeness would be to I'll use their female name. So if they change their name to Becky, I'll go ahead and call them Becky. I'm not going to use like they legally changed their name or whatever. I'll use that name, but I'm not going to ever say that that's a she when it's
not.
When it's a male.
Yeah, and I understand that point of view. It's more like,
but to be clear, what just happened there? Okay, hold on. To be clear, I would specifically avoid having to use pronouns, and I would just say, instead of saying she wants that, I would say Becky wants that. That's the level of respect I'm willing to give. I think that that's fair. But now you're asking me to change my worldview to accommodate what, in my perspective, is a mental illness.
okay. So yeah, that's the thing. I'm not even like. That's the thing. It is like I feel like it is a mental thing too. Like, but it's a studied thing that like it's like there's so many cases of it that's an actual thing that people feel.
Yeah,
there's intersex people. What about intersex people?
There's a lot of cases of schizophrenia.
I understand.
And it's a really documented thing. Just because, hold on, and it's documented. It's really well documented. And there's treatment for schizophrenia. We don't affirm schizophrenics in their delusional beliefs.
So you think so schizophrenia is one thing, but like just because a person wants to be in like they feel so uncomfortable and what if it like you say it's a mental illness, right? And to fix this mental illness to make them feel better, they want to wear girl clothes and be Becky. That's not okay. Why can't like if that's their antidote and their depression medication to them?
So adults are free to dress as they like. I'm not proposing laws that should ban like as a man if you want to wear a dress, you have that freedom. I'm not proposing laws to prevent men from wearing dresses. However, at what point do I need to participate in your delusion?
I guess so that's the thing. I don't want to be. I don't think it's delusion. I believe in trans people. I think it's gotten diluted.
It exists.
I understand what you're saying. I know. I get what you're saying. But I'm saying I think they deserve to be. I think that is respectful, and that if they think they're a woman and they want to say that they're she, I'm going to respect that. And I also respect your opinion. That's fine. But I think everyone deserves respect and to live their life how they want.
So we can have a separate conversation about like sort of generalized trans acceptance. But I want to bring it back to the original thing, which was dating, right? So, okay. Do you think that transgender people should disclose?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if they're going to be in a full-on relationship, especially if they don't have, like, I think in general they should. Like, I think that they should. But I don't think if they're just starting to talk to someone, like, they don't need to right away. But if they're going to be in a relationship, yeah, they need to. Same thing, I don't think it's transphobic not to date a transgender woman. I think it's same thing, I don't think it's fatphobic to not want to date a fat person. It's just a type and a thing that you like. It doesn't mean you're a horrible person because of it or whatever. Like, that's what I'm saying. There's a respect level. Like, you can have your own opinions and respect people at the same time.
Let's do this. What is a woman?
You know, I hate that question. Oh,
yeah.
A woman is like a woman is someone who was born with a cooter, I guess. But I'm saying if they want to, I'm gonna respect that. You know what I mean? There's a definition and there's also a respect level. Like, I'm not gonna argue on that.
But are you respecting the biology?
I always have said born? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I always like, even if I respect them, like I'm not gonna pretend like obviously they were born that way and the inside like that's who they are. But I'm not gonna. Like, I just respect everyone and what they want to do. And also because I have friends who, like, are that and, like, who have transitioned during school, like, literally came back after winter break completely different. And it was, like, and it was when we were in middle school. Like, before it was, like, a whole thing. Like, now it's, like, taught in school. And I think that's not okay. Like, I'm not for the kids transitioning, kids learning at that age, people being able to get on hormone. No. Like, after you're a certain age, like 18 or whatever, like, you can physically do stuff. Same thing, I wouldn't let a kid get a breast implants. Like, what do you mean? Like, you're not going to let... I just think that's ridiculous.
Do you think? What about puberty blockers? Can they have puberty blockers?
I think.
Wait, hold on. But that's what the transgender advocates say. That's gender affirming care.
Yeah, I think
and they need to take puberty blockers prior to starting puberty.
Are puberty blockers reversible?
Nope.
Yeah, then I wouldn't
They
agree
claim
with
it is so that they, like, in furtherance of putting kids on puberty blockers, but puberty is absolutely not reversible.
Because I feel like a lot of the things, like, you know, same thing, like, you don't learn who you are, what you want exactly. I think the people who are transgender, like, they do know it younger too, but I feel like you need to experience lots of things in life to fully know what you want. Like, some trans people don't want this operation or this operation. You don't even know that until you're older. So, like, why would you?
But you do realize that the transgender ideology and movement is making a massive push for,
and I don't think that's,
for allowing, and this is really the only time you can take puberty blockers. So these people saying, well, you can make that decision when you're 18. You've already pretty much gone through most of puberty or all of puberty. So puberty blockers are typically for, I don't know the exact age when typically they get started. I think it's maybe 11, 12, 13, 14, around there. That's what they're saying, yes, this is good. This is gender affirming care. Are you in favor of that?
No.
Okay, you're kind of in contravention of the mainstream. Hold on. You gotta let me finish talking.
Yes, sir.
You're in contravention of the mainstream gender ideology talking points as it relates to transgenderism.
Yeah,
like, this is something that they're genuinely, this isn't like fringe transgender stuff. It's mainstream transgender stuff, letting kids take puberty blockers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can agree with some and not agree with others.
Yeah, do you agree with that one specifically?
Yeah, I don't
Okay,
think
so you're against, like, the mainstream. You're against, like, mainstream gender affirming care.
I'm okay. Yes, I'm okay with a kid. Like, if a kid if my son
Wait, you're
came to
okay
me,
with kids getting it?
Listen. So if my kid wants to wear a freaking skirt, like, I'm not gonna be upset. Like,
I'm talking about gender.
Hang on. I'm saying there's lines to it. Like, if you want to present yourself feminine, I'm not going to tell my kid that's whatever they want to do. I'm going to let them do that. If they want to change something about their physical selves when they're a child, like puberty blockers, surgeries, none of that to me is okay. I think once you're an adult, or once you're, like, old enough, or if, like, they were in therapy for years and years and years, and then like doctors were like, if they were younger and were saying it since they were younger, like, they need to have, like, a therapist to talk to, and they've, like, realized that their entire life they felt that way, then they could do some type of surgery. But
okay, so how about this? You said you're not cool with the puberty blockers, but if you wanted to socially transition, so they wanted to dress up, like, say you had a son, wanted to dress up like a girl, how much would you give any pushback?
Yeah, I would make sure, like, I mean, I feel like you should talk to them. They should go to a therapist. Like,
really?
Yes, I think if your kid wants to transition, like, you should
okay, so you have the kid just goes, hey, mommy, I think I'm a girl. I want to wear a dress. I would talk to them, and no, I would not let them dress like that right away. It would have to be an going thing. Like, every day they're asking me, hey, I want to wear this, sure. I want to wear this, I want to wear this. Then I would let them, if that's going to make them happy. But I'm not going to be like, oh, you want to wear a skirt? You're allowed to wear a skirt. No, if they want to and they're coming to me and crying to me, like, I want to, like, I'm not going to tell my kid they can't dye their hair or do something because. Yeah, you can. You're the parent.
I'm saying what I'm worried about is if my kid's a good person, not if they have pink fucking hair. I don't care.
Yeah, like, but as a parent, you still have that authority over your children to be like,
about me. This is me.
Okay,
right?
that's fine. You can let your 13-year-old dye their hair. That's fine.
Yeah, why? Who cares?
Okay, like, but you're going to send them to therapy.
At one point, if they were coming to me often,
are you gonna see? Okay, I think you would just.
Questions.
Yeah, that's fine. But I guess the issue is they're going to go to a therapist who's been indoctrinated in this sort of thought, and then the therapist is going to affirm their identity as a trans child, and of course the therapist is going to be like, well, I think that this is the right thing to do. Sometimes kids are just have a phase or they're confused. I don't honestly. If I was a parent. Who knows, maybe your kid ends up this way. You can wait to do anything until you're 18. But until then, no, you're not going to do any of that shit.
Yeah, I'm talking about, like, if they were coming to me for multiple years and it got to a point that I felt like I wasn't educated enough to be able to talk to them.
This is why you got to homeschool your kids, I think.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying what I would do. Like, I wouldn't.
Just gonna get indoctrinated at the public schools in California.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous what's happening in the schools right now. Like, they're literally, like, making kids feel like that's what they are. Like, they're like, a kid goes to a teacher and is like, I'm transgender. They say, yes, you are. No, they're not. Like, that's ridiculous. I think that is ridiculous. There's points of it that are just too far, and they've taken it too far. Like, they're.
Because it does seem sometimes this manifests out of, like a social component where they see something or they hear something and then it sparks like an idea in their head.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have the experience, many people who don't even end up being transgender or anything really when they're older have an experience of feeling uncomfortable in their bodies when they're younger, especially when they're going through puberty. There's all sorts of discomforts, and going to school is kind of weird, and how to navigate friends, and you're starting to kind of get into dating and this sort of stuff. And then ultimately, though, you have these feelings, and then oftentimes they pass. But if you get going down the pipeline, you're potentially going to end up somewhere with a full-fledged set of beliefs that were kind of implanted in you by authority figures at the school, potentially parents who are not really aware of some of the things that are going on, going to a therapist. Why does a 13-year-old need therapy?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like at that point, I think you're like it would be. I would be talking to them first, telling them like no, like this is what. And then if they came, if they came to me from school and said, "Mommy, I'm a girl," I'm not gonna say you are a girl, like because they're learning that from school. But if they were coming to me every single day, crying to me, couldn't go to sleep, like if that's who they felt, then I would be like, okay, this is a little bit more serious. I would talk to them more, and then if it got to a point where I felt like I needed help, like I would go. And even I would go to maybe a family therapist, like where I'm sitting in there with them, talking to them, like maybe get them actual help to like either talk to them and like be like, why do you feel this way? Not that you feel this way and you need to be this way. It's more like, why do you feel this way? Is it because your friends are telling you? It's like, that's what I'm saying. Instead of like shaming them for this feeling, it's more like putting that feeling to the side and making sure that they're like, if you just feel loved and that they're like, it's okay. Like, but if they're saying that they want to wear pink shoes, that's a different thing. Like, it's one thing to present yourself more feminine and wanting to be actually a female, They're two different things.
Okay, so you take your potentially trans. Actually, the other thing I think is the kids that used to be goth, they're the ones that are trans now. I think part of it, look, there's genuinely trans people or whatever. I think there's just people who throughout, like there's different time periods where people participated in subcultures and these sorts of things. And like the trans thing, that's like the new subculture. Like the goth kids from 20 years ago in the early 2000s and the late 90s, they would have been trans. They would have been trans. Like it's just, there's always going to be like a cohort of kids that are just like kind of on not the outskirts, but.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with environment. Where did you grow up? Are you big city? Are you small town? Because if you go small town, you're most likely not going to have these, issues with school systems and having been programmed in an environment like that. So again, this is like, you can put someone in an environment and that is going to shift them and shift their beliefs. So you have to look at the environment where they're at.
For sure.
Was there any other disagreement that you had besides the trans thing? Is it still straight for you? It's
honestly,
still straight?
Even then, I didn't even really disagree with you. Like, I see what you're saying. It was just like, I feel like I'm more tolerant of it. Because if someone tells me their pronouns, I'm going to respect it, whether I agree or not, just because I want to make them feel happy. Like, I don't want to be disrespectful and like make them go home and be like, oh, that sucks. Like, I hate myself. Like, I would rather just if play along.
If I saw some dude holding hands, walking down the street with clearly a trans woman, like fucking broader shoulders than me, fucking Adam's apple, all this shit, I'm not gonna say anything. Okay, cool. There's a trans couple or whatever.
Well, I won't say anything either, but
like in my head, I'm like, well, okay, it's a dude and a trans woman. It's not straight, but I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to do anything.
But like
if I'm having a conversation with somebody like 2 hours later, like I'm with, I don't know, my friend, be like, yeah, that's not straight. If we probably wouldn't even talk about it. But if we're looking at it from a bird's eye view level of like, okay, let's just have a conversation about what that is. No, I would say that that's not straight.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm not like chasing down trans people in the street like your fucking pronouns are definitely like, no, I don't give a shit. I'm not going to go bother a trans person, but like if we're sitting here at a table having the discussion, yeah, I'll tell you the truth.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I just don't see how it could ever be straight. Like I don't see how it could be straight.
So I think
Like, okay.
pansexual people is like more who dates.
Let me ask you this. If you somehow saw, I don't know, somebody left their apartment window open and you saw what looked to be, you saw two penises. That's all you saw. There were two penises and one of them was sucking the other penises.
Yes.
You would assume that would you say that was gay?
I would assume that's gay, yeah.
But then after you see that and you've made a determination like, whoa, that's definitely gay, and then they shout out the bedroom window, BTW, Becky, I identify as a woman. Do you now revise your assessment of what you just saw and
No.
categorize it as a heterosexual act?
No.
Okay, all right, good talk. All right, we have a super chat here. Go ahead, pull it up, Nick. Ellie, read this.
Chair 2 out of 2.5, you're suggesting it's good to proliferate and normalize this ideology while complaining about the direct effects on children caused by the ideology. You're reducing children's expected lifespans for, quote, tolerance, acceptance, and happiness.
Thank you, Penmaker, for the super chat. Do you want to respond to that super quickly?
Yeah, that's why I would make sure that my kid is put in the right direction, and I think that I'm just trying to make sure they're happy, but you're allowed to have your opinion. I think saying yes that they're a man or woman right when they come, that's wrong. I think trying to take care of the problem is what you should do as a parent and do whatever you can to fix it.
Okay. We have Josh Brooks. Can you read this one?